What's up, folks? Dan here from BeGameCharacter.com, and we have Q&A Tuesday on a Thursday because this week was crazy. I can't even tell you all the things that happened this week, but my gosh, so much stuff going on. So here we are on a Thursday, not our normal Q&A day, but that's fine. We can answer questions anyway. Just a forewarning for all y'all out there. I have not slept in, what is it now? 27 hours. And the sleep that I got before that was like 4 hours and it was broken up. So I'm a little bit loopy. Just a little bit. It's been an interesting week. Just letting you know. Been a little crazy. So that's okay. We're going to have a good time. And just forgive me if I get a little weird here and there. So last week's question for you was, who is the strongest fictional character, as in, like, who would have the highest total weight on bench, squat, deadlift, like your typical powerlifting meet total? And the rule was no, like, god-tier level characters. Like, we can't talk about, like, the Beyonder or, like, Galactus or any of that nonsense, okay? It's got to be, like, Superman, Hulk, Aragorn, although I don't think he's anywhere near the top 10 even. Just, like, relatively, I don't want to say normal, but whatever. Anyway, you get the idea. So, strongest fictional character, just raw strength. I'm going to see what everybody else says, and then I'm going to tell you who I think. But we're going to start off with your name, who says, Yo, Dan, the strongest fictional character has got to be either Superman or Goku. My question for you is about powerlifting. By the way, I like Superman and Goku getting thrown out there. Those are good picks. My question for you is about powerlifting. Topical. I've been doing Smolov for squats. Oh, God. Okay, cool. And I've seen incredible results. You will if you could stick with it. Absolutely. I was just wondering if after I'm finished with the cycle, if I should do it with my deadlift. I don't know if the program could translate over to other exercises. I was wondering what you thought about it. All right. So Smolov, for those who don't know, is like just basically a super high volume, high weight, make your legs fall off squat program. Its whole purpose in life is just to add to your squat total, really. Like, it's just to give you tree trunk legs. And it goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And there's full Smolov and then there's junior Smolov. There is a Smolov deadlift program out there. It's a little different from the squat program, but it is out there. If you just go search Smolov deadlift, I don't know if Smolov himself did or if it's just somebody who adapted the program. Deadlift is the only one, is the only other exercise that I would consider doing a Smolov type program for. I would never do it for a bench press because you stand way too much chance of doing damage to your shoulders or developing tendonitis in your elbows with that much volume and that much weight and that little rest going on. Your legs and your hips and your back are much better at bearing repeated heavy strain because, again, you spend your whole life walking on them. They're specifically designed for that. So deadlift is the only thing that I would do in a Smolov style program besides regular squats. Go look it up. Personally, I don't think it's necessary. And even Smolov for squats, I mean, unless your squats are really deficient, not super necessary, but oh my God, the results you can get are awesome. But it's basically you're just going to increase your squat. So what I would do is I would not do Smolov. I would go to some other sort of powerlifting regimen once you complete Smolov and just kind of get yourself back up to that area with all of your lifts and see where you're at. And you're going to find that doing Smolov has actually really increased your deadlift capacity quite a bit as well because you've got a lot more lower body strength and a lot more core strength than you had before. So that would be my recommendation to you, is that once you're done with Smolov, just go off to a regular powerlifting regimen, either PPL, push pull legs, or the Texas program, or there's any number of programs out there. And if you want further recommendations on what to do after that, I don't know what you were doing before, but I would say just go back to some sort of traditional powerlifting split. If you're doing Smolov, you're obviously already beyond starting strength or anything of that sort, or even Mad Cow. So I would say you're probably moving on to like the Texas method or something like that. So that would be my recommendation, is to, after you finish Smolov, just give yourself a deload week or two, and then move back to a standard powerlifting regimen of some sort, whatever your preference is. I'm sure you've got one if you're already doing Smolov. So excellent question. That was really, really good. Thanks. I love getting more into technical stuff sometimes. So that's cool. So thank you so much, your name, and I hope you have a great week as well. Next up, we've got John Smith, who every single time you post, all I can think of is Pocahontas, and I'm sorry. I don't know, like, maybe if John Smith is just a pseudonym you use online, or if that's your real name in real life and you run into this all the time, but all I can think of is Pocahontas. I'm John Smith, like that shot from the movie when he's all, like, looking at Pocahontas in the mist and whatever, and yeah. So anyway, moving on. John Smith says, "Hey, Dan, first, sorry about the lack of questions. I have the memory of Dory." Nice. I think Superman would be the strongest. Now, as for you, if you could live in any OBE fictional world, not sure what OBE stands for. I think that might be a typo. Any fictional world, book, video game, movie, what and why? And also, if you could be in a protagonist from a book and video game, who would you answer for both book and game, please? Okay, so 2 questions. I did the fantasy world a little while ago, and if I recall correctly, I think my answer back then was Hyrule. That would be my video game world I would like to live in. I think I'd like to live in Hyrule. If not Hyrule, then I think I answered Skyrim last time. I wouldn't mind Skyrim. Mirror's Edge, the near future of Mirror's Edge, but only if I could be a runner. Yeah, so that would be my world, probably would be Hyrule. That's my default. And if you have any protagonist from book and video game, okay, so I got to do both, book and game. So from a video game, I would have to say, I would say probably Rico from Just Cause, the Just Cause series, be pretty badass. Just because of all the crazy nonsense he can do, and it makes no sense, it wouldn't actually work in real world, but holy crap, that would be really cool. Spider-Man, specifically from Spider-Man 2, because I spent a stupid amount of time just swinging around in the game, and I've always wanted to be Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man is one of my characters, and like, yeah, I would be Spider-Man in an instant. So those would be games. Book-wise, book is tougher. Book is definitely tougher because a lot of protagonists really get pooped on in books, which is a bummer for them. Like, they all get cool abilities and stuff like that, but for at least a lot of the books that I read, is like, okay, cool, everybody wants to kill you. Like, for instance, like, the main character from the Iron Druid book series, Atticus, who, that's not his real name. I'm not going to try to pronounce his actual Gaelic name because that would be just horrible. You don't want to hear me do that. He's got really super cool powers and stuff like that. Like, being a druid would be totally badass, but the problem with being him is that everybody wants to kill him, and he manages to piss off everyone all the time. So I wouldn't mind being him, plus the fact that he's like nigh immortal and whatever, because that'd be really cool, except for the fact that everybody wants to kill him. So that would be one character from a book that I wouldn't mind being. Another character that I wouldn't mind being would be... oh, I just had this in my head. Nope, it's gone. No, I got it. Vin from the Mistborn series. She's totally badass. I love Brandon Sanderson's magic system in that book, and I'd like, oh my god, I would love to be Vin. But again, everybody wants to kill her. Plus, her world's dying, and all kinds of other unpleasant nonsense. So again, it's tough picking a protagonist because you get the good and the bad. So that's who I would probably go with, is either Vin or Atticus. Great questions. Thanks so much. Moving on, we have BenRex777, who says, the mainstream answer would be Hulk or Thor, but does Galactus count? No, Galactus doesn't count, so I would say Hulk or Thor would be your correct answers. And Hulk and Thor is interesting because depending on who's writing them and what era you're in, they are kind of interchangeable for strength. Like, sometimes Thor is stronger than Hulk, sometimes Hulk is stronger than Thor, and in different incarnations, there are different levels of strength. Like, Worldbreaker Hulk doesn't beat standard Thor, but like, Rune King Thor is definitely stronger than Worldbreaker Hulk, considering the fact that Rune King Thor kind of kicked the snot out of Galactus for a little while. So, yeah. Cool. Comics and anime have everything between normal humans and omnipotent gods. Yeah, basically I was just ruling out god tier type stuff, although Thor is technically a god, whatever. Now the question for you. What would your favorite fantasy or real pet / mount to have? I would love to have, for a mount, I would love to, well, first off, dragon. I mean, obviously, dragon is the only option in that question. Any kind of giant flying dragon you get to fly around on, whether it's like, Game of Thrones dragon or like Skyrim dragon or any kind of dragon. Like, obviously, if you get any kind of mount or pet and dragon is an option, I'm going with dragon. But beyond that, if we're going a little less grandiose, I would love to have a riding wolf. Like either, I mean, you can get them in World of Warcraft. You get wolves you can ride on. The orcs in Lord of the Rings ride on wargs. Just some sort of riding wolf. I've always when I was a little kid, I really wanted to have this is weird young Dan. When I was like 10 or something like that, I was learning all about. I was thinking about starting a breeding business for birds and pets and stuff like that. I was going to breed and sell animals because I'm a big animal lover. So I in my head as I was learning about basic breeding practices and genetics, I really wanted to try. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow. What if I could breed a dog that you could ride? How cool would that be? And then, of course, there's all kinds of real issues with that, like, the longevity of the animal and the actual physical capability. Tons of problems with it. But still, that's always been my dream, is to have, a dog or a wolf that is, big enough that I could ride on it like a horse. I think that would be awesome. I would love to be able to do that. That would be so cool. So that's the slightly more realistic version. Yeah. Comments on the video. Did you watch Stan Lee's Superhumans? Yes, I have watched Stan Lee's Superhumans, and that is how I knew some of those people I was talking about, and I didn't remember all of them. I watched it a long time ago. But yes, and they're really cool stuff. And that's it for Benny. Benny says, have a nice week. You have a nice week as well, Benny. And we are moving on to Storyman09, who says, you ask an interesting question this week, Dan. I think people like this question. This is cool. Well, Hercules held up the entire sky, and if you took the weight of all the atoms in the atmosphere, that'd probably be pretty heavy. That said, I think our modern day heroes would just kind of trump him. I'd say Super Saiyan Blue Goku / Vegeta would be the strongest, followed by the World Breaker version of Hulk with Superman floating somewhere around or above the Hulk, depending on the writer. It all kind of depends on the writer, which is the reason why Saitama from One Punch Man is invincible. Yes, Saitama is definitely, he's going to be up there too. Although, honestly, yeah, plot armor. My question for you is, if you were going to write / direct / make your own Christmas movie, since it is the season, how would you do it? I would go into all of the funky, weird, obscure, Christmas rituals and characters and myths from all around the world, some of the, everybody knows Krampus is the one dark Christmas myth, but this is really weird Christmas mythology in every single country that celebrates Christmas. And I mean, not for nothing, but the majority of what we know as Christmas practices are just European pagan practices anyway. So there's a lot of stuff there, and you could build a really, really cool fantasy world in general. And a lot of the Christmas characters are kind of scary, but some of them are not. I feel like you could do a really kind of cool Christmas movie, maybe a dark fantasy, maybe not even a dark fantasy, just a general fantasy, based around the kind of world that would exist with all those different creatures and monsters and saints and what, all kind of living in the same sort of continued universe. I think you could do something really cool with that. And you could do, one of the things that I really liked about the Jack Frost movie was the Santa was this badass Russian with two swords and whatever, and they had kind of this cool storyline for him. So something kind of like that, but not focusing on different mythological characters from different holidays and cultures, whatever, but just focusing on just all of the really cool Christmas characters and myths that are out there, because there's a lot. They're super funky. There's a lot of cool stuff to pull from out there. So that's probably what I would do, is some sort of dark fantasy, and it would focus probably a lot more on the pagan end of things, just because if we're being honest with ourselves here, Christmas it is a Christian holiday. Almost nothing of what we do to celebrate Christmas is Christian. I think at this point we can all admit that Jesus probably wasn't born on December 25th in the middle of winter, and that the time frames given for his birth and the different things happening, the wise men traveling, all the original actual Christmas stories from the Bible have very, very, very little to do with our modern Christmas practices. The wise men traveling to see Jesus, They didn't get there like they had. Anyway, there's a lot of issues with that, but I would focus a lot more on the cool kind of like pagan roots and stuff like that, and build a fantasy world around that. So that was a really cool question. Thank you, Storyman. And now to answer my question, strongest fictional character in my book is going to be Superman, and I say this because I'm going to get some hate, I know, from the Goku and Worldbreaker Hulk and other sorts of people out there. But here's the deal: is that Superman is stupid overpowered. Like, he's even if we're talking pre-crisis Superman, there's not even a comparison. If we're talking post-crisis Superman, he's still super overpowered. Like, post-crisis Superman lifted the weight of the earth for like 5 days straight without breaking a sweat. Okay? Now, Worldbreaker Hulk can break a planet. Yes. Goku can blow up a planet. Yes. But Superman lifted a planet continuously without really straining himself for like a week, over and over and over and over again. Like, that is stupid strong. That is strong beyond any real reason, and I think it's almost unfair to put Superman in the same category, because if we're being honest, that is beyond, that's like God tier. That's almost outside what I was allowing. So, yeah, that's my controversial moment. Tell me how wrong I am about how Superman's the strongest. I'm ready for it. I can't tell you how much pleasure I get seeing all kinds of people arguing on YouTube about, oh, Goku beats Superman's. Oh, man, when Screw Attack had Superman beat Goku the second time, the fanboy tears were delicious. Not that I don't like Goku. I mean, Goku's the fucking man. But, I mean, just saying, Superman's stupid. Superman is straight up stupid. Okay, so here's your question for next week. Okay, so next week is going to be our last Q&A Tuesday before the new year. And of course, the new year is all about resolutions, and everybody likes to start new things and stuff like that, which is awesome. I like to jump on that kind of, momentum there. But here's what I want from you for next year. Here's my question for you for next week is, what is one goal, just one goal that you want to accomplish in the new year? And what I'm going to do is, in the next video, I'm going to break down as best I can your individual goals and figure out step-by-step ways for you to achieve your goals. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. So next week, I want to hear what goal you got. I want to hear just one goal, and I'm going to do my best to break it down into daily activities, like I did with God Mode Planning, which you saw a couple of weeks ago. Daily activities that you can do to accomplish that goal in the year. Okay? So I want to hear what that one goal is, and you know what? If you want to get other people involved in this too, like ask a friend or two, not that they have to comment, but just be like, yo, I had this goal, my friend has this goal, my other friend has this goal. I will do as many as you want, okay? But only one per person, because that's the deal. One per person. So tell me what your number one goal is for 2017, and I'm being serious about this. Give me something good, and I will do my best to break it down to a daily activity for you that you can do every single day to get that goal accomplished in the new year. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Going Superhuman will be going up tomorrow, which is Friday. Sorry for the delay on both of these. It's just, like I said, been a crazy week. And then next week should be back to schedule as usual. So thank you for watching. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa. If you celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. If you celebrate nothing, enjoy yourself. Happy holidays. I will see you next time. As always, remember, live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome. Bye-bye.